And now we're here at Allisonville Meadows, American Senior Communities, and we are with...
United States Attorney Zachary Myers.
Okay. How long have you been the executive attorney?
So I have run the U.S. Attorney's Office here in the Southern District of Indiana since November of 2021. So about a year and a half now.
Okay. And what is your job, per se?
So I run the Justice Department in the southern two-thirds of the state. So we're kind of everything south of Lafayette, from Anderson and Kokomo down all the way to Evansville and New Albany. And we handle all of the federal criminal prosecutions in the district, as well as do civil enforcement on behalf of the Justice Department, and we defend agencies of the United States when we're sued in civil court.
You're busy.
We very much are. I have a staff of soon to be just over 50 attorneys, as well as about 50 support staff handling, all the many thousands of cases that come through our office every year.
Okay, well, thank you then for spending some time with us here since you're so busy. Something very important, you're going to talk today to the residents and the folks here at Allisonville Meadows, and it has to do with elder fraud. And I certainly can sympathize with this because I remember when my mother was getting a lot of phone calls and she answered every phone call she got. I'm so glad that I don't have to go through that anymore. What are you going to advise people? What are you going to talk about today?
So we know that this, financial fraud, and particularly fraud targeting older Americans, is absolutely a priority of the Justice Department and of myself and of the administration. And so one of the things that we're doing isn't just investigating and prosecuting these cases, because we're only going to be able to locate, unfortunately, so many of these criminals. These are organized crime rings, frequently operating not just locally, but targeting our seniors here in Indiana from overseas and all over the world, all over the country, using the internet, using telephones. And so we're focusing investigation and prosecution resources there, but we also want to contribute to prevention. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure, I think the last year they've estimated almost $6 billion stolen from older Americans through these fraud schemes. And
well, how much?
Almost $6 billion with a B. A horrendous amount of money, and frequently they're targeting folks and taking their entire life savings that they've worked so hard to take care of themselves in their retirement, and now they're unable to do so. And the just tragedy that inflicts on entire families when these frauds happen. So we want to really help with not just prosecution, but with prevention. Mm-hmm. And by talking to folks and getting the messages out, today, and helping people sort of protect themselves, mm-hmm. we can hopefully reduce the amount of fraud that's taking place, and help our seniors before the crime happens.
Okay, so we're talking education today. That's what you're helping these folks do. And also, just before we went on, I had mentioned to you, we're going to run into some extra special problems. Artificial intelligence is going to run rampant pretty soon, and that makes things even more complicated for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Technology has really fueled the increase in these crimes, whether it's artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, really just the advent of the internet. In fact, many of the phone calls that people are receiving about these scams are phone calls that are driven by the internet and might even be automated voices. But it's facilitating, it might just be an old school boiler room full of fraudsters working, through data they're able to obtain over the internet. They are targeting our seniors. Mm-hmm. They are targeting folks who they think are going to answer the phone, who they think are going to respond to these emails. And so, making sure that we're using our time to educate, our, friends and family, educate particularly the older folks in our life, and make sure they know what those red flags are, mm-hmm. so that when they are targeted, they're able to not respond and protect themselves.
Okay. Well said. Well said. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. And we'll let you do what you do best, which is help to educate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.